So guys, welcome to the video on how to identify minerals. You'll be performing a lab, so you need some basic information to help you on Tuesday. So here we go.
Oh, hey class. I'm just digging for some gold in my front yard, hoping I find some. Wait, I think I see something. Let me take this back. Oh, guys, it's a gold nugget. It's a big gold nugget. I'm rich. I don't have to work again. Oh, guys, it's just pyrite. It's fool's gold. So, guys, this week we're going to start talking about minerals. This is pyrite. It's formed of iron and sulfur. And we've talked about the elements on the periodic table. This is iron and sulfur. But it's forming a unique pattern, and it makes pyrite, which is fool's gold. So this week we're going to start talking about the characteristics of minerals, and we're going to start talking about how to identify them, and you get to do a hands-on lab. Happy Monday, Science Rocks.
Guys, welcome to the video on minerals. So, I'm not rich, of course, but still, I'm your teacher, so I'm here teaching you. So let's get started. The first thing is, what is a mineral really? Okay, most of this is review because on Monday we went over this. But a couple things about minerals. One, a solid material formed by nature is always going to be a mineral. So it has to be a solid, and it has to be formed by nature. The second thing is material that is inorganic, not formed by a living thing. So the big thing to remember here is the word inorganic. Organic means living. In means not. So it has to be inorganic, not formed by a living thing. So coal is essentially made by dead plants, and so that's technically living, so it's not a mineral. It has to be a material that has its own set of unique properties. And then it has to be a material that has a crystallized form. Even if you can't see it with the eye or a magnifying glass, it's got a specific crystal form. So now that we have the review out of the way, let's talk about how can you identify a mineral. So one of the ways you can is by color. A property that can help identify a mineral. Now, let's be careful. Color is the first thing that you notice about a mineral, but should not be used as the only property used to identify a mineral. So let's take this mineral for example. Now looking at this mineral, you can observe more than one color, and that's the problem. It's greenish blue and it's purple blue, so it's hard to say what mineral that is just by identifying one color because it's multiple colors. So color is one way you can use to identify a mineral. The next way you can identify a mineral is by luster. Luster is how a mineral surface reflects light. So flashlights come in really handy, and on your lab you'll actually have a flashlight to determine luster and transparency. So a mineral can be shiny, it can be dull, it can be glassy, it can be metallic, or it can be oily. So first let's talk about metallic. So this particular piece right here, very metallic looking. You can tell it's very, very metallic. Then you have dull. This is turquoise. Turquoise is very dull, so it's the opposite of luster. You have topaz. Just make it a little bit bigger. You have topaz, which is very, very glassy in appearance. And then you have citrine, which is very oily in appearance. A lot of times luster can help you identify what element you are looking at. One other way that can help identify a mineral is by hardness. Hardness is how hard or soft a mineral is compared to other minerals or possibly materials. We use something called the Mohs hardness scale. So first let's look at that. The Mohs hardness scale is not too difficult to understand. It ranges from very soft minerals to very hard minerals. So we all know a diamond is very, very hard. It's impossible to scratch a diamond. which is one of the reasons why they put them in wedding rings and jewelry. All the way down to the softest one, which is talc. Talc is probably something you've heard of if you have a young baby in the house, because it is baby powder. So let's look at talc real quick. Talc can be easily crushed. And the really important thing about this is that it's very, very soft in comparison to other minerals. So this is talcum powder. Sorry guys. This is talcum powder. Talcum or baby powder. And then we have a diamond. And diamonds, as you know, are very, very hard. This is actually diamond in a really rough form, straight out of the rock. It's not too pretty, but this is the way diamonds look when they actually are come out of nature before they're all polished up. So hardness is one way you can tell. Let's move on to the next. So another way you can identify a mineral is by streak. Streak is the color of the mark that a mineral makes when it is scraped on a white tile. You will actually be performing this test on Tuesday with your set of minerals, but I would like you to show you a quick overview video of exactly what is a streak test and how it's done.
For the streak test, you will need an unglazed porcelain plate. You will also need your mineral. I have 3 minerals here that we are going to test the streak with. The first mineral is, its color is gray. It is shiny, it reflects light well. If I streak it across the plate, I can see that it leaves a reddish-brown mark all the way across. So the streak color for this gray mineral is reddish-brown. Here's another gray mineral. If I leave a streak with this mineral, I see that it has a gray streak, black to gray streak. Third mineral, I see a white powder here. So this one is clear to white powder and does not leave a very noticeable streak.
One of the last ways to identify a mineral is by what they call cleavage and fracture. They're complicated terms, but they really are not too hard once you view a picture and the associated definition. So the first thing we're going to talk about is cleavage. Cleavage means breaking along a smooth, flat surface. So minerals break, just like rocks do. But when it breaks along a smooth, flat surface, we call that cleavage. And so I'm going to pull up this picture real quick so you can just see it. Do you notice how these lines are very clean cut? They're not very sharp, they're very clean cut. In fact, if you probably ran your finger around it, you probably wouldn't get too hurt from it. Fracture means breaking along a rough, jagged surface. So fracture is when a mineral breaks, but instead of breaking along a smooth, flat surface, it breaks along a rough, jagged surface. And if you've ever broke glass, you would probably know that it breaks, it fractures like that, and it's very, very sharp, and it can cut you. So cleavage and fracture are one way you can identify what a mineral is, by how it breaks. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please answer 2 questions on metal for your homework assignment. Be prepared for the lab on Tuesday because you will be applying all these different tests and how to identify minerals, and you will be identifying some minerals in your lab. Happy Monday!